Hi, I'm Caryn Desai, Artistic Director and Producer of International City Theater. We're about to open our 39th season in 2024, and I hope you'll listen and learn some more about our upcoming 5-show season. The reason theater is unique compared to other mediums is because it is human, because it's live. Because it's never the same. It's not like taped and it will never change, because we're human, and it creates that sense of community when you bring people together in a live performance. That's so important for our sense of community and for society itself. And I think we became more aware of that from the pandemic when we were so isolated or looking for other means of staying connected through virtual platforms. The mission statement for International City Theater is to entertain, educate, inspire, and provoke thoughtful dialogue with our audiences. International City Theater was named the city's, Long Beach's resident professional theater company back in 1999. And I think that's because ICT was founded at City College and by my husband, who was the chair of the department, and I taught there. And we've been very connected to the community for a very long time. And there's not another theater in Long Beach that does the kind of work we do that's professional and works with the unions and pays everyone. And I think that's part of the reason as well. Oh, I want to tell you about our 2024 season for our 39th anniversary. And now, truthfully, I'm right now trying to rack my brain about 2025, our 40th year, and how we're going to celebrate that. But for our 39th year, we're opening with the world premiere of Marilyn, Mom, and Me, which is about Marilyn Monroe. And Mom is Eileen Heckart, an award-winning actress who played her best friend in the film Bus Stop. And Me is Eileen Heckart's son, Luke Yankee, who wrote and will direct this production. So you'll learn some very different things maybe about Marilyn that you didn't know. And she was such an icon, still recognized. Then after that, we have What the Constitution Means to Me by Heidi Schreck. And I chased that play for several years trying to get the rights. And I'm thrilled that we're going to do it in this election year. And it's Heidi Schreck, the younger Heidi Schreck, on the debate stage. And that's how she earned her way through college. And talking about the impact the Constitution had on 4 generations of women. It's funny and thought-provoking. Then our June summer fun show is The Outsider by Paul Slade Smith. And this is one of the funniest plays I've read in some time. And it's, like I said, it's an election year, and this is about the worst possible candidate to ever run for public office. So very funny play. Really looking forward to it. Then we have a play by Eglash-Kosoff, The Double V. And this is a true story based on history. And it's during World War II. And a young Black man in Chicago tried to enlist to serve his country and, during wartime. And he was denied that opportunity and he was beaten. And he wrote a letter to the Pittsburgh Courier, which was the largest Black newspaper at the time, and suggested the Double V campaign. We need a victory for the war and victory at home for equality. Very thought-provoking play. Then we're going to end the season with Murder on the Links by Stephen Dietz, and it's based on an Agatha Christie novel. So it's a fun mystery. Luke Yankee, who wrote and will direct it, has worked with ICT before. He also lives in Long Beach. And I've known him for years, and he's been writing for a long time and directing and teaching. And he came to International City Theater with this project. So I read it and thought it was entertaining and interesting. And he tackles different aspects of, his relationship with his mother and her relationship with Marilyn. Marilyn was a method actor. And so when Eileen Heckart was cast as her best friend in Bus Stop, Marilyn, not the actress, Marilyn worked to make Eileen Heckart her best friend. It's a very interesting look at that story. But also there's other characters in the play, and Ella Fitzgerald is in there, and how Marilyn stood up for a Black performer at that time. Well, I wanted it as part of the season because it's a fascinating play, and it's really thought-provoking too. And it's, audience participation by the end too, whether should we keep the Constitution or shouldn't we? And I think it really has some value, especially today, in how divisive we are about so many things, unfortunately. So maybe this will bring us together and make us really think about what we're doing and about our democracy, which is, really important. That's who we are. Well, Agatha Christie, of course, wrote the novel, right? Because she was a novelist. And it's not the first time someone's taken a novel and made it into often a screenplay, let's face it. Because that's in some ways easier, because when you're doing a play, so much the story is all told with dialogue, and there's less help from all the visual mediums that you can use in a film. So I have not read the novel. Some people may be more familiar with Agatha Christie's work, probably my mother, because she loved mysteries. But Stephen Dietz has been writing for a long time. So, and I, of course, read the play. I won't produce something I haven't read. And I thought it was interesting and entertaining. I happen to really love the physical space that we perform in, the thrust stage, which means that the audience, it's not quite the round, but the audience surrounds on three sides, which makes the audience closer to the actors and the performance. So the orchestra itself is really only 5 rows. And then the loge, of course, grows further back and has about 8 rows or whatever. But it's all, it still doesn't feel, when you talk about the loge being row 6, it's not far from the stage. So I think it's just a more unique performance space, and it helps engage the audience with each other as well as the actors, because you're more aware of the audience with that shape, that circular shape. What I'm looking for this season is getting back to pre-pandemic numbers and sales and butts in the seats is what we call it in the theater, right? And each year since the pandemic, we have gotten better. So we're moving in the positive direction. But we still haven't reached our 2019 level before everything shut down. And that's a hard barometer for us to match, but that's what I'm using, because 2019 was a really good year for ICT. I mean, our subscription rate was up over the past 6 years. So to use that as the barometer is really, making us stretch and push to get back to there. And we're getting closer every year. Also, 2 years, that was our 34th anniversary. So, and 2 of the shows had beat 34 years of pre-sale records. So that's what I mean. It was a stellar year, and it's a hard barometer to match, to gauge. And, but that's my goal. So, to keep growing and going, and we're in a good place for sustainability, and I feel good about that. We were lucky to get through the pandemic with the relief funding, and also because we also kept producing. We never stopped. And so I was careful about how that money was spent, because I know that what's next? We got through the recession, we got through 9/11, we got through, a pandemic. So there'll be something else in the pipeline, I'm sure. I'd like to address this question about why theater is good for your soul on several levels, because it has to do with also subscribing. Okay. And well, the act of theater itself, bringing people together and creating a sense of community, is critical for our society. And theater is still a vital platform for our democracy, freedom of speech, and the opportunity to bring ideas to the audiences. Sometimes things that you hadn't thought about, which we addressed this past season in a couple of shows. And when I'm talking about tying that to subscriptions, it's because if you're a single ticket buyer, thank you for going to the theater. But if you want theater to survive, and you want to further develop this art form, and you want to further invest in yourself, find a theater that does quality work and subscribe, because I can talk from my experience. When you're subscribing to ICT, you're giving me an investment in 5 shows, not just buying a ticket for one. You're investing in all 5, even though I know some of the shows people have never heard of the writers, but they have something to say and they're important. And if you're just picking the commercial shows or the ones you think you're going to like, you are not stretching or growing. And when you subscribe to the whole season, you are opening yourself to all those new ideas, opening hearts, opening minds. That's what theater can do. And it's critical for you and for our society and this art form. Because if I'm not producing some new plays and like other theaters, and not investing in those writers and in the works that speak to us, that are relevant to our lives today, our society, then we're not doing our job, and you're not, we need you in order to do that. When you subscribe, there's lots of benefits, besides saving money and on shows and tickets and parking. We also have a dinner package with a couple restaurants that are really wonderful and save you even more money. And also subscribers get a restaurant discount card with 20% off at some of the area's best restaurants. I think art is good for the soul because it's a shared experience. And also the opportunity to create better understanding about others when it's a story that's different, to also better understand our shared humanity, how much we're all alike, and also the emotional connection to people's lives that are being displayed on stage, or the stories that are being told. And storytelling's been with us forever. And the stories that we're talking about that are relevant to today are really our legacy for the future. Because when you look back at plays from the past, you can better understand the issues and concerns of society at any given time. And what are we leaving for the future to help future generations better understand the world in which we now live? And theater, that's what those plays are investing in, our legacy for the future. Long Beach is a regional theater, so it serves Long Beach, but it also serves other parts of LA and Orange counties. And it's critical for you to attend ICT's 39th season, because I think it's very exciting. And that's kind of the response we've gotten from people when we announced the season. Vocal responses when I was announcing the plays in my curtain speech. So I hope that you'll be as excited as I am and join us. Like all nonprofit regional theaters, ticket sales do not cover the cost of a production. And that's why if you believe in a theater, it's important for donations. And we do, not only do we do 5 main stage productions, we do 6 education programs for every demographic and age from 4 to 104. And mostly that's through writing grants, because our main mission, of course, is our main stage. But we do a lot with a little, and I have a small team as well to keep it all going. So ticket sales help, of course, but that's not the way we can keep our budget going. Not only when you buy a ticket, but if you can afford to support International City Theater with a donation, that certainly helps cover the cost of productions. And it's tax deductible, and it helps keep us running in the black. And this is our end of year appeal time. And so we'll hope to gain the support of more donors. I'm Caryn Desai. I'm the artistic director and producer of International City Theater. 2024 will open our 39th season. It's a season of plays that are personal, passionate, and playful. And we hope you'll join us.